Cannonballing Life with Derrick and Coach. What's going on, everybody? Woo! How's it going, Derrick?
What's up, dude?
Man, look, we started talking about a lot of different ideas, and this is one that I have really, when we got closer to this day, man, I was getting fired up. I'm like, this is going to be a lot of fun. Episode 1, baby.
That's right, of Cannonballing Life
with Derrick
and Coach.
Look at that. We haven't even rehearsed that. Man, that's sweet.
So tell them where this started from.
Well, I'm going to tell you. So the cannonball part of things is actually a philosophy that I've lived with for a long time. I believe that a lot of times in our lives, we will go through the motions and we never actually take that big step forward. We don't take those chances that we should take to be successful. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of adopted this idea that if it's something you are kind of somewhat passionate about, jump in, baby, just like a cannonball. Not the kind that shoots out of a cannon, even though they're going really quick. Mm-hmm. You should just run towards that deep end, because you're going to small end and you're kind of big like me, all of a sudden you're going to bottom out. But you go to the deep end and you pull up them legs, baby, and you're floating in the air. And if that water's going to be cold, you're going to find out, because you can't stop now.
Yeah.
And that's how you cannonball.
You get used to it quick.
You will.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Or you're coming out of there quick. Either way, Scooby-Doo's turning into you. Here we go.
So you and I have done co-hosting things before on the Motivate with Coach Camp podcast, which this is a sort of like a spinoff, a little side series.
Yeah.
We're not replacing the Monday episodes in any way. But we used to get some feedback on like, you guys are pretty fun together and everything. So you were like, dude, you were like, man, let's do something.
Let's just do something where it's real.
And you brought up Seinfeld, meaning this ain't about nothing.
Ain't about nothing. Something that's just us, authentically us. A lot of levity. So that's the idea, because I think laughter is, in fact, medicine. I think it is.
I agree.
You know, there's not enough laughing out there. Maniacal laughing.
So I'm bringing in sound effects from another show I do.
Was that Kamala Harris?
I don't.
It sounded like Kamala Harris. I don't know. Anyways.
So I do a show called the Rhythm Section Podcast, as you know, and we incorporate funny sounds. We call them resident sounds.
Resident sounds.
So I thought I'd bring my iPad in here and use some of these.
I'm glad you did.
Just for the heck of it.
Yeah. So anytime I say something, even if it's off, you got to hit the applause button. That is not the applause button.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Coach K.
Let's do it. That's what I'm talking about. And the horn. You know, I could have used some of that on my comedy show when I did that one stand-up moment. It was like crickets. That is what I felt like.
I don't want to kill people with too many sounds at once, because it can get hacky. But these are my gimmicks, man. I love them.
But no, I think
this is fun. Yeah. I need to have fun today, man.
Okay.
I need to have fun.
What happened?
Oh, no, it's just stressful. Okay. Just, everyone has their stress, their day. It's Friday.
Sure.
A lot of stuff going on. Everyone's spinning a ton of plates. We're all there.
And it's kind of rainy outside.
Yeah. And everyone's sick.
Yeah, well, I mean, stuff's blooming. Welcome to the South. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like March the 1st, and trees are like, here we go. Let's do it.
Yesterday, I found myself rubbing my left eye, which is a sign of my allergies. It hits my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah. So this is a tough area, tough season. Hey, look, so since we're going into a new realm, this is uncharted territory, if you will. Mm-hmm. I thought maybe we could share some stories. Do you like stories?
I love stories. Now,
look, some of this is going to be kind of edgy. How old is your audience? Are they old enough for this?
Well, this is our audience. This is this is on your channel here.
I want y'all to know something. Y'all can judge me if you want to, but we're going to share some stories. I'm about to tell you.
This is on your YouTube channel, your audio. Right. This is the Motivate with Coach Camp little side series.
You're way more popular than me, though.
No.
I think you are.
No. Full disclosure, anytime I'm on the show, the ratings tank.
Oh, well, no, this is just because they were fearful that, it's like we don't want to be associated. So they were running from me. That's what it was.
We're here to have some fun.
Yeah, we are. So here's something that happened to me this past week. Okay. This is a real story. True story, by the way. I don't tell fake stories. So if I'm telling you something, take it to the bank. Cash the check. Go ahead and cash the check. I tell my students, cha-ching. I always tell my students, if I say there's an alien in the front, grab your phone, go take some pictures. You're about to be rich, because there's an alien in the front.
All right.
So my daughter, she's in 9th grade.
Yep.
We have daughters same age, and she's in a child development class. Are you familiar with this?
Is this when they have to carry babies? Dolls?
They make a baby out of a 5-pound bag of flour.
Okay. I was picking my daughter up at the high school, and I saw a boy.
Oh, yeah, it's boys and girls.
With a doll.
Yeah.
Carrying a baby.
If you're in that class, you're carrying a 5-pound bag of. Yep.
Did she choose that class?
She did. You know, I think a lot of students probably teach. They go there because they think the teaching is going to be probably pretty easy A. I don't know. Yeah. It's a guess, but nevertheless, she's in this thing, and part of the assignment for a whole week they have to carry this thing around. This is the part where it's going to start to involve me. She has to carry this thing everywhere she goes, and then she has to wake up twice in the middle of the night and send an email to her teacher to show that she was getting up with the baby, right?
Because the baby's crying or whatever.
Babies do this stuff.
Yeah.
I experienced this in real world. Maddie Camp was a night owl. She worked the 3rd shift, always up. I was sleep deprived. The thing was, though, I was on the fire department. So I was sleep deprived at work. I was sleep deprived at home. I was losing my mind. So, full disclosure, this past week, because see, you would think, well, how does that affect you? She's, she set her own alarm. Well, apparently no, because my wife likes to coddle. So my wife was waking up to go make sure she got up to do her assignment. That became a problem on night number 2.
Because it's waking you up?
Because it's waking me up.
Okay, Grandpa.
Yeah.
That's going to be part of the deal.
No. Yeah. It's no. That when I don't
when your daughter and son-in-law are living with you guys,
wow.
And they have a couple kids, and
they're moved in now, huh?
Oh, holy no, they never left.
Oh, they just never left. So I'm not getting up. That's the thing. See, there was a whole situation. It created some PTSD in me.
Yeah.
So like I'm hearing an alarm and I'm like, oh, why are we up at 12? Why are we up at 2? And I will get up sometimes between 2 and 3 for a bowl of Cheerios. That's perfectly fine. It's very healthy.
You've told me pretty much every night you do this.
Well, I try to because it may lower your cholesterol. It's what I've been told. It's on the box. Must be true.
But it warms the belly up, which makes you a little sleepy.
And I get a little bit more sleep. I go back to sleep for a little bit. Yeah. Well, so here's where I'm going with the story. Waking up reminded me why I got a vasectomy. Have you ever had one of them?
No.
Man, let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you something. For my viewers, this is get out your pen and paper. Y'all going to take some notes on this. So
is this where it gets edgy?
Maybe. Depends on your flavor. So what it did was it made me, I've been thinking about going back to the urologist just to make sure it's still good. Because I don't think I could do this again. I don't think I could wake up through the night.
You're getting it tested.
Yes. But so do you want me to share with you what it's like to get a vasectomy?
Say whatever you want to say.
I'm going to tell you something, man.
This show is about this.
About vasectomies. I'm going to tell you something. Whenever she kept waking me up, I'm like, this has got to quit. We can't do this for the rest of my life. So I go in and talk to the urologist, and I'm like, look, we got to do something where we don't go down this road again. And so he's like, oh, it's simple. We make a little incision, and then we just cut and tie, and then you'll be good to go. And I'm like, oh, that doesn't sound too bad. Man, is that a lie? That is a lie.
It's bruised.
It's true, but It's a lie because, see, there's so much more to it. So it's just like partial truths, actually. Let me tell you something. First of all, you got to shave your nether regions. Okay. All right. So if you're not familiar with this, you got to, and it's hard to see. I didn't use like a mirror. I didn't use a mirror.
It's manscaping.
Well, to the next level, apparently. Yeah. I go in, they put you on this table. They got these lights like this. It descends down over the top of your business. And then they put this little cloth over you, and then they pull your stuff up, and so now it's like on a front stage. And then you got people just walking in and out the room. They talking like, oh, look at that. Okay, what are we about? I was like, well, welcome to my business today, boys and girls.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, you missed some spots here. And now this is very demasculating, if that's the word.
Right.
They're over there shaving, and then I'm like, oh, this is something else. Now I've stepped in it. Yeah. I have stepped in it. And I didn't think it was going to be all this. I thought it'd just be like a snip done next. Then the doctor comes in. Okay. I'm just telling you this because because with all the lack of sleep, this may come into play for you.
So the doctor isn't there from the beginning?
That was nurses or somebody, or maybe interns. Awesome. It could have been somebody from the front. I don't know.
It's always fun when you do, I've never had that, but when you're doing a physical or whatever, and you have a woman checking your stuff, it's never, and it's never in a impressive state.
It's not relaxed. You're tense. Things are not working right.
I think of Turtle and its turtle show.
Yeah, well, and it was cold in that room. That's a fact. It was cold.
So everyone's looking at
it's in the receptionist. I think she came in, and so they're like, and so the doc comes in and he preps his stuff, and then he's like, all right, and they make this announcement. We'll make our incision, and then they start into the cutting, and then.
They're telling you as they go?
Well, they talk to you.
So did they?
Maybe they don't want to make it awkward.
Were they teaching a class? Were they using you as a
I don't know.
As a specimen?
It could have been because there was so many lights in there. I was like, well, we don't believe in setting an intimate setting for this thing, obviously. So then he's in there and I can feel tugging. And then, when I know he got it? Because I felt my nostril move. That was the root. He got the root, Derek. He got the root. He starts tugging. And I know. And I could feel this whole nostril shut in.
Okay, we need it again. Oh, God.
Yes. Oh. Then there's this scent of smoke and burnt flesh. All right. All right. And then when they're done, at that point, it's like if you're sitting behind a screen and a ball hits, you still flinch because you think you may have got hit.
Yeah.
For the rest of the next week, I kept feeling like that somebody was just going to walk up and kick me. It was a horrible.
Was it all bruised?
Horrible experience. A little bit, yeah.
Tough to walk. Yeah. It's hard to sit.
Swelling in the wrong places. Those kind of things. Yeah. And so, long story short, that was a horrific moment for me, Derek, in a lot of ways. I knew that it was the right move, but then this is the circle back. This is what comedians attempt to do. The circle back is then this past week, that realization that if I had a baby in my house I had to get up with, I would be willing to go to smooth in the front like a Ken doll. That's how far we would take it next time. just everything.
Smoothing the front to a Ken doll.
Everything needs to go.
It took me a second to register that.
Where you had a picture. Yeah, that's what's happening over there in the front. So anyways, that is what went through my house this past week.
I mean, I've never thought of it to the extent of planning it. But I don't want any more kids. I have a 15-year-old. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Bro.
I feel like I'm on the back nine, although anyone that has adult children knows it never ends.
Yeah.
There's always that next phase of your kids. They go to college. You're always a parent. But I don't want a 1-year-old.
No, and so this is what's so important about grandkids. And you hear it.
And give them back.
You hear it. Yeah. And then it's also not only that, it's like, well, we're going to do some controlled setting scenarios. Till they're 4, you visit during daylight hours.
That's right.
And then after that, they can sleep through the night.
Hand them back.
And then we just sleep for one night, and then it's like, oh, that was a lot of activity. Got to go back home, little buddy. And that's fine.
We'll see you next month.
It is definitely not. And I don't know. I know Sylvester Stallone had a kid and he was 95. I don't know how he does these things.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he had one when he was old. I don't know how old he is now.
I mean, some of these guys are virile.
Yeah.
Is that the right word?
Oh, sounds good to me. I'm from Mississippi. It's all good. I've been saying Mishu for a whole year before I said Misho, so it all sounds right.
It's actually Macaud. I lied.
Wow. We're going to shift gears again on that. So what's going on with you, brother? I just shared a fun story that everybody will now cringe at when they see me on TV.
There's another laugh here. That's the passive aggressive laugh.
That's the one that most of my students give me. That's real funny.
Let me explain the sounds.
Yeah.
Okay. So some of these have meaning behind them. In my other show, I co-host it with my drummer friend Jeff Ward. The first one that we landed on, because it happens often, is we squirrel. You know,
I've had that happen.
We'll squirrel whether we're interviewing someone or forget. I'll ask a question again after just getting the answer. We forget something, whatever it is. So that's a scene from the Christmas Story. No, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. My bad. Okay. Not the Christmas Story.
I know it very well.
Yeah, so they're all in the house, and all of a sudden the squirrel's jumping into the tree. You know, that's all crazy and everything. And then when either me or Jeff are talking too much, to the guests, I'll go on a little riff or whatever, then
shut up, it
just says, dude, shut up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Another one here is I particularly am awful with names. Awful. So we're trying to talk
Turns
about,
out I called my producer by the wrong name for a whole year. So yeah, I get it. I'm feeling everything you're saying.
Well, when we're promoting bands and talking about people in the music community, which is what that podcast is about, hence the rhythm section, we'll find ourselves oh, shoot, what was that person's name and everything, blah, 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 blah. Or here's the other one. I'll get a name wrong. A good friend of ours, his name is John Patterson. I keep calling him John Peterson. So.
You don't remember my name?
So we have that.
Is that Jackie Chan? Is that Chris?
It's from some
Chris
weird.
Tucker?
Whether he voiced it or not, I don't know. But it's from some weird. I just went on YouTube and Googled, forgetting name, or I can't remember what keywords I put in there, and I found that gem. You don't remember my name? I'm like, no, I don't.
No.
I don't at all.
Do you know who you are? That's what I tell my players and stuff. When I'm coaching, be like, Coach, that's not my name. I'm like, do you know who you are? Well, I'm testing you. So then you. Get out in the field. Let's go.
I'm still trying to figure out who I am.
Yeah.
Another one is in podcasting, as you know, you record on a day, and sometimes that stuff doesn't get published until weeks later.
Sure.
And you're trying to promote stuff, and the timeline can get a little crazy. So we have this.
Great Scott!
From Back to the Future.
Oh, yeah. Dr. Brown. Is that Brown? Dr. Brown.
Yeah, I think it is.
Dr. Brown.
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
The guy with the crazy hair.
That's right. Einstein.
So, and I'm trying to think of the actor's name, and I can't. You don't remember my name? And that's the prime example. I wish I could pull the actor's name out right now, but I can't. And whoever's listening or watching is like pulling their hair right now because they know the name.
I wish that I had those sound effects just following me around all day long, actually. So it's just when I go into the classroom or whatever, it's like in the house. When I walk in my house, maybe I need one of those things. I like the applause thing when I walk in my house. That'd be nice rather than, oh, he's back. So it's like, well, thanks, family. So anyways, yeah.
Well, this is what makes me think of you right here.
What you gonna do?
Oh, baby. Let's go.
Oh, yeah!
Hey, fun fact
Macho
about
Man.
him. This is a squirrel moment. He played baseball.
Hulk Hogan?
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, this guy.
Oh, yeah!
He was like a collegiate player.
He was a really good ball player.
That was Macho Man Randy Savage.
That's
by the
right.
way.
That's right. Yeah.
And,
sure did. Saw a baseball card of his.
And then we have, so those are sounds that have like some meaning, and it's on, and it works because our audience loves them. And they become characters every time we screw up, and it's a way to be self-deprecating.
Oh, trust me, that's easy. That's easy for me.
and what's funny is, anytime we screw up or forget, it's always that's our good go-to.
I like it.
There's a sound that I'm going to be isolating, and I got to remember to do this for our next filming for that podcast. Is I mumble and stutter.
You do
ums and ahs. Yes.
Oh,
right now I'm trying to be articulate.
Well, it's the facial expression that helps you.
Well,
you've got to be able to bring that out when you're talking.
I
did that
mush mouth.
Oh,
do you remember mush
from
mouth?
Fat Albert?
Yes.
Hey. I make that sound every time my wife goes to the refrigerator. By the way, just it's our way of loving each other.
I'm sure she loves that.
I think she does.
So mush mouth, hebalobu. How about you, Badooba?
Yeah.
So I found a little isolated thing that I'm going to use. So when I start tripping, whether I'm reading a script for one of our ads for our beautiful sponsors, and I screw it up, hebalobu, how about you, Doober? So that's a new one coming.
You'll be able to throw that stuff in on us now.
Mr. Ric Flair.
Ric Flair, baby. Do you have a hacksaw Jim Duggan? Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah, it's like yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Get that guy.
Do you know, we played it before we started when I was going to say, hey, this is your intro sound. And then we're like, what? Do you know the wrestler tied to this sound?
No, I just think immediately of my brother's house.
Why is that?
Because he's got 4 kids and there's always something getting broken.
God. Yeah. That is Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, yeah.
You hear this? Yeah. And then he'd walk out and the arena would pop, as they say, and go crazy.
I think I could take him. I think
so?
Yeah, well, he's older now.
Yes, he's got a bad neck, so that's where you'd want to attack first.
You got to go straight up to the top. Yeah, no doubt about that.
So I just thought I'd give everyone, and then
background.
When a musician is talking about, and then I found this amazing guitar, and I just had to have it. And that's how I feel when you walk in, Coach.
Thank you.
I feel
that is very nice of you. Oh, wow. That's a good one, too.
If I'm really excited, it's just.
I wish I could whistle. Do you know that I can't whistle? Really?
You can't even go.
Well,
you're sucking in.
I know. I don't know how to blow out. I can't do it. So
I wish I could do the high pitch one. I can't do that.
For those people that know me, that'll see this. This is my substitute whistle. Shwoo, shwoo. That's what I will do if we're in a public place and I need your attention.
And all the years you've been a coach, that's what you have to do?
Shwoo, shwoo. Yeah.
Or do you have an actual whistle?
No, I do actually have a whistle, but I never use that. But I will tell you.
You just go whoo, whoo instead?
Shwoo, shwoo. And I'm going to tell you, so how I know this works so well is the year that I discovered the shwoo, shwoo, because it came to me.
Shwoo, shwoo.
It was a moment. I had a moment. And we're at Disney World. And my wife had gotten a little ways off, and these were also the days before like an immediate text message, Snapchat. So I could see where the area was that they were supposed to be in. I couldn't see her, and I just start shwoo 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 shwoo, and then her hand goes up, and I'm like, there she is.
You know what's hilarious? I have a sound. You said you wanted to carry these sounds with you.
Yeah, I want to take.
You're never gonna believe
if you got shwoo shwoo in there.
Woo woo!
That's that whistle horn thing. It was on Tosh.0, right?
No, it's from a funny viral video.
Yeah, he that guy. There's a black guy that talks about the little horns on the back of the exhaust.
That might be it. Yeah. Yes.
He was on Tosh.0. That's how I saw it back in the day. So yeah.
So you need to put that on, like, I don't know, have a Bluetooth speaker with you at the game. Be like, hey, you. Come here.
Well, it's not much of a difference of what I do. So I like it. It's a variation of it, but still.
Your audience is going to be like, what is going on?
Well,
but that's why this is on a Thursday. I don't know what day we're going to push this out. And this is going to be a fairly
Thunday. It'll be a Thunday.
See, that's where I need
Bubba, Debbie.
Yeah, I need the mush mouth sound right there. This will be fairly often, but not on Mondays. Mondays is the traditional show that everybody loves, which you're very good at, by the way. We talk about it and everything, but I just edited, by the time this airs, listen to Rita Finney.
Yeah.
That's definitely out by the time this publishes. But as I sit back and edit your show, I marvel at your skills. Sorry.
I didn't know I had any.
Oh, you do.
I know. I like to talk. Do. There's that. There is that part of it.
But I am the interview host on a couple different things, and man, I just don't have the energy you have.
It's fake. I'm faking the energy.
I don't have the rebuttal that you bring. You're always bringing in your thoughts after your guest brings in a part of their story. It's always motivational. Sometimes you cry.
Oh, that's true. I am.
So you get choked.
I get choked. I am sensitive. I'm okay with that.
But that's what makes you. Yeah. But you are really good at the mic.
I appreciate it.
You're perfect for podcasting.
I'll be honest with you, man. When I started out, I just knew that I could talk to people, but the energy part, so the talking part's real, but the energy part, I got to tell you, some days I have to really ramp up myself, my mindset. You know, the other day we did 3. Were you a part of that?
Yeah.
We did 3.
Yeah, of course I was here.
Rhetorical, right? 3 back. I mean, it's like back to back to back.
That's a lot.
By the time we get to the 3rd one, I'm almost out of words.
That's a lot. Get to the mic, coach.
And I was like, my wife is going to be so happy. Because I knew I was going to come home with no words. One
time, me and on the Rhythm Section podcast, we did 3 interviews and never again. Really,
it's a lot.
We were burnt on that 3rd one.
Yeah,
it is a lot.
It's all good though. I mean, honestly speaking, it was a good day to knock it out too, because we were backed up. So
yes, we were.
And, one of the things I was hoping for out of our little ditty we're going to do here,
cannonballing and stuff, with Derrick and Coach, or Coach and Derrick.
I like Derrick and Coach, but I mean, we can do it however you like, sir. This is your studio.
I mean, okay, yeah.
You're the big dog. But for me, I wanted to give the other side of us. There's a lot of our podcasts, at least a lot of my podcasts, the ones that we put together, Coach Camp stuff. I'm not going to say they're serious because they're lighthearted in sense, but then also we cover some pretty big topics, deep topics,
dark, sometimes.
Tough conversations.
Yes,
right.
And that's what it's about. It's to spotlight this person,
absolutely,
and share their story. So it's not about us at all.
Right. Exactly. And there's a whole funny comedic side to me, or at least I like to think I'm funny. I always feel like I'm funnier in the moment.
Oh, sure.
So like when I'm on a ball field coaching or I'm in a classroom, like they just kind of roll. But man, I got to tell you something. I got to really work on my material when it comes getting on the stage.
Well, let's talk about the stage.
Did you see that?
Have we really?
Sorry, get that throat. Get it out. It's all the way. It's down in the back. You had to get it all the way out from the back.
Have you or us anytime on this show went together on a Monday episode, talked about your stand-up
attempt at stand-up? I don't even want to call it stand-up. I should have been sat down.
So we need to talk about this.
Somebody should have told me, come here and sit down.
Let's talk about this.
All right. I don't think we have talked about it, but or at least not mentioned it.
So yeah, you attempted to do stand-up at an open mic.
I did.
And typical, and this stuff happens in the band world too, but I follow a lot of comedians.
Mm-hmm.
I love stand-up comedy. And you walked into something that's unfortunately fairly typical, where you walk into where there's this open mic and they don't have no idea They don't.
It was so open mic, there wasn't even a mic. Just to be fair,
they didn't have a mic there. And then they're like, "Oh,
friend had to go get it.
We didn't think anyone was showing up."
Yeah,
and from word go, you're walking into something that is so unnerving, and then to find out that it almost doesn't even exist to them.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you're probably ramping this up in your head of how this is going to be, and you're going to be in front of a microphone and big lights and everything. So that's the first thing you had to hit was like, oh, you guys don't know I'm coming?
Yeah. It's actually kind of normal.
And then
I was like, all right, it's normal life.
And then, well, go ahead and stand in the corner over there. You're like, what is this? Anyway, so tell us about what made you decide to even try this?
I've always fashioned myself to be funny. I don't know that I am, but I crack me up. That's fair comment.
You make me laugh, but like you said, it's always in the moment.
It is the moment.
And you and I have all kinds of fun off camera in the room before your guest shows up. We're always cutting up. And I couldn't do stand up either, but I like being just kind of dry and
so I like making people laugh. All right. There's no secrets there. And it's fun. That's part of life anyways. I think we should all laugh more anyways. So I enjoy that part of it. But then the other side of this is I knew that I would have no problem standing in front of a crowd and talking on a microphone. And it wasn't a problem. I think I spoke for like 18 minutes. You know, most sets are like 3 minutes.
Oh, that's so long.
So, I mean, like almost did my first hour special.
It takes comedians so long to write a good 5-minute chunk.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I was running low on my thoughts, so I actually did pull out a joke book, read a couple of those, just like, why not throw this in the mix?
Did you bring in any good knock jokes?
I think with some versions of that. I think it were like dad jokes.
That's what you need to do.
Yeah.
Maybe that's your stick, dad jokes. I got one for you.
Yeah.
Why did not, I'm already screwing it up. Why didn't the zombie cross the road?
I don't know.
Because he doesn't have the guts.
Oh, snap.
I don't have the drum, ba-doom, boom, psh, but
you got to get that one. I saw a little kid say one the other day. It's pretty funny. It's not. It's on TikTok, so everybody's seen it. But he's like, "Why did the chicken cross the road?"
Why?
Because it's funnier. He was 4. He was 4, so it was really funny. I was laughing pretty hard though. Yeah. But anyways, I think I will do it again. The problem I think I saw was my material was too dry. It wasn't real. It wasn't me. I was trying to be a comedian. And I think really the key to anything in life, and I think maybe this is why sometimes I will listen back to my podcast and I surprise me because I'll leave a lot of podcasts I do and I'm like, man, that wasn't very good, I don't think. Not anything on the guest, but me. Like, I don't think I said, or maybe I didn't react quick enough or whatever. And then I listen back and I'm like, well, it did pretty good, actually. It did better than I thought. The point is, I don't mind failing and I don't mind critiquing. And I think I'm always going to be a harsher critic to myself than someone else is. And when it comes to comedians, man, that's a spotlight, baby. People are looking at you thinking, you can't make me laugh. You got to make them laugh. But if you can do that, it's gold.
It's art.
I like that challenge.
It's an art form.
Yeah.
And the ones that just look natural, that they look like and sound like they're just shooting from the hip.
Yeah.
They're not, for the most part.
Right. I mean, it's scripted. They figured out how to do it.
They're just mentally writing it every show. That's why they say like 10,000 hours on stage is when you can really start getting your own voice and figuring out what your stick is or what your niche is. It's a lot of work. I mean, that's why I'm so fascinated by good comedians. Yeah. And then you have the ones that can get edgy, walk the line without being offensive and saying crazy things, using words like the R word, no,
right.
You get canceled for that.
Sure.
But a lot of comedians can go there and hit all the taboos and make you laugh. Like, make you laugh when part of the joke involves 9/11. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and it's funny, and you don't feel like you're being disrespectful.
Yeah, it's always about the delivery.
Some of these comedians can really take you for a ride like that. It's impressive.
It's a great example because I use that same approach in my classroom. A lot of the things I say, if you said it in the wrong context or in the wrong verbiage or the wrong approach, I'm getting written up. But the way I approach things, people kind of get an understanding of who your personality is. And so like one of my big things that my students embrace is, that I have 2 rules. I have 2 rules in my classroom. Don't be late and don't suck. And it's that simple.
And if you're late, you suck.
Yeah, and it's so funny because they'll own that, and like they're coming in if they're right. Like it's like, Coach, I was almost sucking today, and so really it is kind of it's real, but it's not real. And in the end, it does kind of keep something in a little bit of a lighter mode, and you realize, look, I got to be accountable, and he's not trying to beat me up.
So you find a microphone, and a PA somehow.
Okay,
you had a buddy bring something in, correct?
Well, so. It just so happened, I didn't know he was coming. Actually, I had about, by the way, props to my buds, had about 15, 20 people show up to support me.
Yeah.
And which made up 2/3 of the restaurant.
But which can also make it very difficult. Ask any comedian. They don't like when friends and family are there.
For me, it didn't matter. Okay. I was good. It didn't bother me a bit. And it turns out one of my buddies he's a musician. He is a musician. I don't know, you don't have that one.
I don't have
So anyways, we'll work on that. He happened to have a mic and an amp in his car, and he's like, hey, do you need this?
Amazing.
I'm like, let's do it. It was meant to be, right? So anyways, he brought it in. I did my thing for like 17, 18 minutes. And I kind of saw people they were getting done with their dinner, and I was still talking. I was like, all right, well, I guess they want me to finish.
Well, there's people in there that have no idea what's coming. Like that goes back to the stories you hear from these stand-ups all the time when they walk into something. And people are at dinner, and all of a sudden, someone's over in the corner telling jokes. Just telling, where is this from?
This is weird.
They didn't go there to see a comedy show.
No, they didn't, because they didn't know that. Apparently, nobody knew it was coming other than me.
You're standing there. You're on. Mic's on. You start. What's the first joke?
Oh,
do you remember?
No, I don't know. I think I danced up to the thing, though. It was a good dance, I thought, but people laughed at that. So I was like, well, that was my serious part. Yeah. The funny thing about it is, though, it was like 7 or 8 people in there besides my people, which pretty much filled up one side of the restaurant. And afterwards, I asked them, they were supposed to be doing this every Tuesday. And I asked them, I said, so y'all going to do this again? And at that time, they didn't know. Well, the owner texted me later that night and was like, hey, you've got Tuesdays if you want them. So I had a regular stand-up gig every Tuesday night if I wanted it. But I just knew at that time I wasn't ready to headline stuff that I didn't have enough material for. Actually, my goal was I was going to come and watch some other people perform and then maybe try to write some different notes and stuff and try to do a different approach. But there was no one else that did it that night. I was the only one.
Right. And I would gather because of their organization skills there, you would have been the only one. But we need to think about this more because there are real open mics out there.
Sure.
I know they exist.
Oh, I'd do it again.
Where you can actually just show up and sign
I've karaoke'd that way.
Put your name on a list, Or you can, I'm just going to show up and check it out first, not even sign it and go up. And that way you get them a little more familiar. But it's actually set up because now people are there to see comedy and they're not your friends and family.
Right.
And that will actually help you feel a little better. I'm telling you, every comedian will say it. It changes when friends and family are in front of them because they're trying to be a little bit different. They're a persona sometimes, or it's Coach Camp ramped up to 11, and it's sometimes it's weird to try to put on an act in front of people that just know you as a certain thing.
Well, I think they gave me some courtesy laughs in there. So that was good. It was good. Broke up the silence.
They sounded like this.
It's from the clanking of the dishes and people eating. It's like, I was like, oh, that's good. Thank you. Thank you for that over there, my friend. So anyways, I'm not there. That's one thing about this. So our whole show number 1, it's about cannonballing. And that's exactly what I did.
I need a big water splash.
I like that idea. That's
show.
all I did. I just cannonballed it. And I would do it again. I think that there is a benefit to not being afraid to fail. And I'm not afraid to fail. I will fail 1,000 times and then I'll still believe on the 1,001st I'll be successful.
I can't say I'm not afraid to fail, but I will say the fuel that powers me is anxiety and the fear of failing.
So one side of it is it actually inspires you to be more focused, to work harder. And the other side of it for me is I know when I fail, I'm going to learn something from it to be better. So, and one last piece I got to share about that comedy moment.
Okay, please.
So at the end of the night, I already had this pre-thought in my head. The last 30 seconds, I would do like a motivational run and I just like blast off about something and get people fired up. And so like I'm doing
like you end your show.
Like, pretty much.
Until next time.
Yes. So a sign off moment. So I go for like 18 minutes. And then my last 30 seconds, I kind of dive into why I was there that night, how I'm going for these dreams and thoughts that I thought I could do something and give it a shot. And it's like a run off hard 30 seconds. And then I tell everybody, thank y'all and good night. And I walk off the stage. And this guy that was over way across comes walking around the rest and goes, hey man, I want you to know that last 30 seconds was really good. I'm like, that's hilarious.
Then you got this. So you got a real laugh and a real applause.
So I'm like, I get it.
All right, so that's what you do is, as a comedian,
yeah,
you pick it apart. And so far now, you have a strong 30 seconds.
I got a strong 30, but it's about motivational speaking, which I feel like I could do that for 2 hours straight.
Maybe you can figure out a way to blend the two.
I got to do something like
because that is you.
It is me. It is. It's natural. That part is natural.
Just standing up there and trying to cut jokes, man, that is difficult. Yeah. And then
especially when they're not funny.
The biggest note I had for you, and I feel like you should do this again.
Okay.
So take this with you. Take the microphone off the stand.
Yeah, I should do that.
Because I could tell you were standing there and you didn't know what to do with your hands.
I felt like Ricky Bobby.
Hold on to the mic and stand, and you were like, ha, ha, ha. You take the mic off the stand.
It was awkward.
And then you can move around.
Yeah.
And you'll feel more comfortable.
I think you're 100% right on that one because I didn't know if I was supposed to sing like at a lounge act or something. Right. I kept wanting to adjust this.
You're like Ricky Bobby and didn't know what to do with his hands.
How we doing in there? Am I close enough to the mic? Is this a hot mic? So,
this is fun. How much time?
I think we're probably, you don't want to make these things an hour. Yeah. So we're at about 35, 36 minutes. Okay. So we can make them about that.
So producer hat on. Yeah. I liked how we started. We're not going to have at least for this one, we're not going to have a traditional pre-produced intro. Just you came in.
Yeah, that was the sound effects.
And we'll switch that around. I like coming in dry, as they call it.
Yeah.
Now, how are we going to exit? How do we roll out?
Stage left.
And I think at least for now, let's keep it dry. We don't need any, fancy
theatrics,
any fancy stuff right
now.
My
mom always said for me, boy, can you tone it down some? So I'm like, yes, ma'am. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Yeah. So thank you, Derrick. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. And until next time, Coach and Derrick.
Bam.
Out.
Bam.